Hello, welcome back to my channel, Be the Little Light. My name is Brittany, and if you are a new friend or if you are a returning friend, I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy to read for you. Today I got the inspiration to check in with your guides and see what messages they have for you. I have pulled some of the cards already just to get a feel, just to get a vibe. And also I want to start this reading with saying that this message will be timeless. So whenever this video finds its way to you, I trust that there's a message in here for you, and you will know what's meant for you and what isn't. So the first card that I'm going to talk about is a question card. I asked your guides if they could help me have focus on a question for you to reflect on. Thank you. So we'll start with that. So the question is, what is it that fascinates me so much that the thought or feeling of it won't leave me alone? How do I put this feeling into action right now? And what I got from that was, when you have an idea of any kind, that it's like this tap on your shoulder that won't go away. It's like literally that. No matter how you try to side quest and divert, something always comes back to this one thing, this idea, this thought, this inspiration. Um, and that is going to be your passion. That's something that it just sparks your interest. It doesn't have to logically make sense. And this could come in any form. This could be from you wanting to study a new language to crocheting to whatever it is. Whatever is your thing, that it just won't go away no matter what. And yeah, for example, like I have been doing I have been working with oracle cards for years, and I have had a lot of stop and go with tarot. And tarot is one of those things where it just keeps tapping me on the shoulder, and I know that as much as I try to side quest and not make the time for it, it's one of those things that's that tapping thing on my shoulder that's like, hey, there's I'm not going to go away. I'm going to keep tapping on your shoulder because there's an interest there for some reason. And so I am reorganizing things in my own life so that I make more time to study that, because for whatever reason it just piques my interest. It's just not going to go away amongst other things. But so that's something for you to reflect on. I feel like there's something right now that's been trying to get your attention, and it is a signal. It's a little clue that you're leaving yourself for what the next thing for you to focus on is. Now, let's get into the messages that came up when I started shuffling. So I see a message here about, I was getting the word downsizing and starting to see some of it come together. So some of you may be at a point right now where either you're reevaluating things, you're putting them into your priority list, where are they at on in your list, and seeing what can I live with and what can I live without. And it kind of actually does go in hand with that first question of, what's that one thing that just won't leave you alone, essentially? That thing that piques your interest. What can you live with and what can you live without? And I feel like this is asking you for you to look at this in your whole life right now, because I'm getting this message of packing light. This is like you're going ready to either literally travel, and this could literally be someone that's, for example, they're kind of going to nomad for a little while, they're going to backpack through Europe, or they're kind of just going to figure things out as they go. Or that could be a metaphor, and it could be representing you're about to go on to the next part of your journey, and it's going to require you to leave some things behind. And some of that may not feel like your choice. Like some of it, I'm getting that some of it feels like this is translating for you as loss, of you not having as many things as you once had before. And I'm getting the message around you just couldn't take those things with you. And you couldn't take those things with you because you're going to be acquiring new things in place of those things in the future, whatever, in whatever way that looks like. Like, let's say if you decided that you wanted to move across the country, for example, maybe it made more sense for you to, instead of hauling everything over with you and spending all that money, maybe it made more sense for you to either donate it or make a quick couple bucks on it and then just start fresh wherever you're going. This could also have to do with work. I feel like if you were, I keep hearing the word downsize. So this could be like, let's say if the company you were working for was making cuts, um, and this could translate as a layoff, for example. And instead of seeing it as getting fired or getting let go, perhaps seeing this as, okay, well, this was actually weighing me down anyways, even though I'm upset that I'm losing it, I get to drop a lot of this burden and this weight because there were a lot of aspects that weren't making me happy. Even if it was not making you unhappy, I feel like there's a big metaphor here around leaving things behind, like dropping something old, leaving it there, and starting fresh, starting a new journey. Because we have a couple of messages here about like these three cards right here in the middle of my spread here are blessings, gifts, all three of these cards, gifts, blessings, being showered with gifts. And I feel like you're being asked to see things differently. What I also have this message here about, okay, I'm getting a bunch of messages at once, but I'm getting a lot of them at once. So if this was a situation where you were losing something, let's say losing a job, losing an investment, losing property, whatever it is, and feeling like you are just in a period of loss, feeling like you're having a string of bad luck, there is definitely this message here from your guides. Some of your guides are angels, and they're letting you know that it's not that you are not being looked over. It's not that you're not being blessed. It's not that you're not being regarded in the highest regards. Your journey is, you are important. Your journey is so protected and so watched over. These things that are happening are for your highest and greatest good. And I can feel some of the resistance that's coming up even as I say that, because I can feel that resistance that will be like, but I'm being left to fend for myself. Like, why is this happening for me? Be like being thrown to the wolves. You're not being thrown to the wolves, but you may have this perception of that. And actually, yeah, it's this big message of, even if you feel like things are bad and you feel like you're being left to fend for yourself, that's not true. I don't know how other way to word it, but it's like you have no idea how many times your guides and angels have prevented things from actually being much worse, is the message that I'm getting. Also, don't be afraid to reach out and ask others for help. Let's say if this is what a situation where you are now needing to relocate, or you're needing to find another source of income or assistance of any kind. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because help also comes in the form of other humans and earth angels come in the form of other humans lending their hand out to help you, but you have to ask first. Like sometimes people genuinely don't have any idea that you are really going through something, or you feel like you're struggling because maybe, you don't want people to know that. But if you reach out and you just don't be afraid to use resources, or even if you are afraid, just know that it doesn't make you a bad person or a weak person to reach out and ask for help. um, I am also getting a message here around um, just being more mindful of impulse, being more mindful of doing things on impulse, like spending on impulse is what I'm getting. Just being more, just having a pause, being methodical, but not being so much in your head. It's like just allowing yourself to pause for a second before you act. It doesn't have to be the longest pause of your life where you become stagnant. It's just being more conscious of what you're doing and how you're moving. Um, there is this message of chaos and change and disorder around you, and around in the collective. There's heavy on that. I'll just show you like the image here. We have distant thunder, and this is like, for me, this is the energy of seeing a storm coming from a mile away, like sensing it in the field, in the ethers, just that palpable tension, friction, feeling that energy that things are about to combust, explode, tempers flaring, just like that buildup. And because there is so much going on with the collective consciousness and all the shifts and the changes that are going on, that's a lot of energy. And even the slightest, subtlest shifts energetically, you can be affected by it. So it is, and what we are going through right now is such, it's a constant reordering and a constant shifts and fluctuations in the energetic fields and the ripples and that going out into the ethers and the different dimensions and all of that within just our cosmos. And so with that being said, there's this heavy emphasis on cultivating the peace within yourself, sitting more with your highest self so that you can understand and discern the difference between the voice from your highest self, your inner knowing, and the voice and the chatter and the static from the outside world. I asked for significant timing for you, and the timing that I got was January. I feel like that's a past energy. I feel like something may have occurred in January. It could have been like you could have gotten a heads up in January that either there was going to be a change in your work or living situation, and now you're starting to go through that process of that change. The significant timing is a few weeks. In a few weeks, I feel like it's within the few weeks is going to be some dramatic change, some dramatic reorganizing. Um, but again, this is all for your highest and greatest good. And again, if you are, there is this message here, if you are um, someone that is feeling like you are running out of resources, or you are having to prioritize what's most needed because you feel like you don't have as much money or resources in general, um, especially if you find yourself in between jobs, especially if you find yourself with the option of being presented with leaving a company if you haven't actually been presented with the heads up that you're going to be let go. Either way, with sensing this shift, this change within either work or your home living situation, what I'm getting now is this is the best time for you to really lean into your creativity, to really pull yourself out of the box that I have talked about in the last few videos. It's a message that has been coming up constantly recently for me, which is observing what's going on with the collective, this rising tension of people feeling like everything is so expensive. I don't have enough of this. I don't have enough of that. Yet this is being asked of me. I can only give so much. We're going to hit a wall. That, if we look at history, the points in time in societies when they were going through major things, those were the times where the most significant inventions came into play that changed not only their society but the world. It's this dichotomy of when your back is up against the wall and you feel that fight or flight, that's when that a lot of times ingenuity will come in, that spark of inspiration. It reminds me of, like, for myself, I'm my own fight or flight activated from different life experiences. I've always had this thing where I feel my most creative when I am under extreme pressure. And that translated for me as writing research papers the day before they were due and getting a great grade on it. And the amount of stress that I went under, it sparked something, but I didn't feel that inspiration until the clock was ticking, until, like, I had to get it done, until I had to meet that deadline. And for some of you, I see that this could also translate for you in the work environment, where if you are in a work setting that you're required to work with other people, maybe you're required to come up with projects, lead projects, come up with new ideas within a company, you may be one of those people that thrive under that pressure of having these tight deadlines. So that's something to be mindful of, for a gift that you probably have for you to lean into in whatever way and whatever area that applies for in your life. It doesn't just have to be work. This could be in general, like leaning into your ability to really think quickly under pressure. Okay, and I will, for the final messages, I will get what your advice is from your guides. So, what is the advice? What is the advice for the collective from your guides? What's the advice? there's a side message here about you don't just have to be someone that's losing your job that could really benefit from being creative and using some type of creative outlet right now. Um, the advice here is to connect, definitely ground yourself more. Ground yourself, nurture yourself. Yeah, heavy on grounding yourself, big time. Also, this is just a side message that you are the person in your family that is breaking patterns, and that's why you do feel a lot of this pressure. But you do have the backing and the support not only of your angels, which some of your guides are angels, but also your ancestors. There's just that recognition that they understand the pressure that you do feel, because everything has been leading up to you being a catalyst of change in your family. Your angels are always sending you messages, and they're always with you. And to really be kind to yourself and nurture yourself how a mother would speak lovingly to you, but also how, even if you didn't receive that growing up, but how ideally, like how you would imagine all the things that you would want a mother to say to you when you were going through something, saying those things to yourself. And this is just confirmation as this last card here. um trust trust in your abilities in changing times. um a fox may be a totem for you. They also, it may be a message from your guides, seeing a fox. But really, I feel like it's this message of, um, a fox is very calculating, in a positive way, just very aware, like most animals are. But the message here is about trust that whatever is going on and is changing in your life, you will be able to finesse and make things work. And actually, when you look back later on, you're going to see that the next part, the next thing that you are moving into actually suits you and fits you a lot better. And you're actually going to benefit and just get a lot more from what you were getting from this either current or recent past situation. And that no matter what's going on, you are always going to be taken care of, because you have a lot of skills. You have a wide range of skill sets that's very valuable. So I hope that this message helped or gave some confirmation. Thank you so much for sitting with me today, and I will talk to you guys next time.